Now, unfortunately, tonight, Democrats continue to rush to judgment, exploit tragic officer-involved shootings before any facts are fully known to fuel vicious anti-cop rhetoric. We've lost over 100 police officers this year. They vilify officers regularly. For example, Vice President Harris saying today, folks will keep dying if we don't fully address racial injustice and inequalities in our country, from implicit bias to broken systems. Is this proven to be what happened, Madam Vice President, Minnesota? And some Democrats, Congresswoman Tlaib is one, calling to outright abolish the police altogether. Well, that prompted Louisiana Senator John Kennedy to say, I guess next time you get in trouble, call a crackhead. Joining us now, Senator Kennedy. Senator, it does raise a fundamental question. Okay, let's imagine the squad's vision is reality. Okay, somebody's breaking into your house, wants to bring harm to you and your family. Who are you going to call? What are you going to do? I know what I'm going to do. I'm pretty sure I know you well enough that you know what you would do.
Well, I'm gonna call a cop, and you may not, and I think most people will. You may not believe in God, and you may not believe in guns, but if somebody breaks in your house, you're going to call a police.
Might be too late, Senator, if you're waiting for a cop. It might be too late.
Yeah. Well, if they break into my house, I mean, I have weapons to defend myself. In terms of this entire discussion about police officers and race, it seems to me, I can tell you what I believe, Sean. I don't think most or even many Americans are racist. I don't think most Americans even think that much about race. I think they think about character. I don't think that most cops, or even many cops, are racist. In fact, many of our police departments are majority minority. I think they do the best they can. The horrible incident that happened north of Minneapolis, I think it was yesterday, that Dan and Geraldo were discussing. I was thinking as they were talking, and I hope nobody got stabbed in that last segment, but as they were talking, I was thinking, how many interactions did police officers in this country yesterday have with the American people? And my guess is it was in the thousands, tens of thousands. And this incident that happened, it was just horrible. It was horrible for the person killed, for the person's family. It's horrible for the police officer. I think we owe it to ourselves and to them to let's just wait and try to get the facts about what happened. It doesn't appear to me that the officer did it intentionally. And I'm not pretending to be a criminal lawyer and say she committed this crime or that crime, but I think we owe it to all of us, ourselves and them, to wait and let's just get the facts. But I meant what I said. If you think, one other quick point. When a radical Muslim jihadist blows up a school, we're always told, don't judge all people of the Muslim faith by the acts of a few. And I agree with that. How come the same rule doesn't apply to police officers? And that's why I said, if you hate cops just because they're cops, I'm not defending bad policing, but if you hate cops just because they're cops, then you're wrong. And next time you get in trouble, just, call a crackhead. See how that works out for you.
Senator, we now have the body cam footage. I will tase you, I will tase you, taser, taser, taser. We hear a discharge, holy shift, and I just shot the guy. I can't make a conclusion yet. We need a full investigation. I do believe in something that is called due process. City manager got fired for saying that. Even Joe Biden got something right, and he said it too. That we need a full investigation. This officer of 25 years deserves due process. We talk about a fog of war. This was an instance where somebody was out on bail, firearm offense. and that this person resisted arrest and attempted to flee. I don't know if it's similar, but adrenaline's flowing. Do you see that that's a possibility that this was, in fact, an accidental discharge?
Well, of course. But look, let's cut to the chase here, Sean. Instead of cursing the darkness, why don't we try lighting a candle? This debate, let's call it like it is. This is a debate about crime and its relationship to race. That's what this is about. And just as it's a statistical fact that more men than women commit crimes, just as it is a fact statistically that more young people than older people commit crimes, it is a fact that some ethnic groups have higher crime rates. Why? Poverty. Okay, duh. Nobody wants to be poor. If my Democratic friends really want to solve this problem, they'll do two things. They'll help us clean up some of our inner city schools and stop them from being failure factories. And number two, we will have a frank discussion in this country about family formation and the fact that a child of a single parent is 6 times more likely to grow up poor than the child of a 2-parent household. I'm not saying a single mother cannot be a good parent. I'm not saying that. I am saying that 2 incomes are better than 1. Now, if you want to do something about poverty and lower
Senator,
the crime rate,
let me just interrupt you for a second. I want to bring something up here because we now have seen these deep blue states run by Democrats for decades, cities run by Democrats for decades. We pay more per capita per child on education with the worst results. And if you look at the cities that are less safe and secure, with it, Rudy Giuliani showed you could clean up New York City. There's a way to do it. He saved lives by doing it. It could be duplicated in places like Chicago. They don't do it. And I would argue that if we care about our national treasure, our children in every town and every city, we owe it to them to keep them safe and secure with law and order. And we owe it to them that they get a quality education. And that has not happened because they have failed spectacularly.
Excuse me, I'm sorry. You know what I would do in New York if I were king for a day tomorrow? I would take all of the money that state and local government puts up for elementary and secondary education, and I would go to the parent or parents of every child in a C, D, or F school in New York, and I would say, here's a check. Take it and go spend it at any school you want to.
I don't disagree.
Let's have vouchers. Let's have charter schools. Let's have competition. It'll make public schools better. It will help break the cycle of poverty because so many of our schools, if you go there, you'll see that violence is common and learning is rare. And so often that's determined by zip code. And the people who need an education the most are in the worst possible schools. And I don't see how my Democratic friends can possibly want to keep people trapped in failure factories.
I got to run, Senator, because we got some breaking news, but we appreciate you being on. Thank you, sir.